it can be difficult to assess and figure out any given abandoned animal's situation. Often, rescuers have no idea what the animal has been through. They just know they need to help it. Just take the case of an Australian fallow deer named Rudy. When a group of strangers found him just days after he was born, they realized that one of his legs had been severed, and it was clear he desperately needed their help. He was rushed to a veterinarian, and you just need to look at him now. When animal rescuers find an abandoned or stray animal, it's often incredibly difficult for them to know exactly what the poor thing has been through. This, of course, can make offering a helping hand a bit of a challenge. That was most certainly the case when it came to an Australian fallow deer named Rudy. Just 2 days after he was born, a group of strangers discovered him and noticed something horrible. One of his legs had been partially severed in an accident. Even though the circumstances were dire, his would-be rescuers knew they had to help Rudy. The poor thing appeared to be in a world of pain. So they rushed him to a nearby animal hospital, hoping a veterinarian could further assess his situation. Unfortunately, none of the people who had found Rudy could say what had happened to him, though it was possible that he was hit by a car. One thing was clear, however, he needed an operation as soon as possible. Luckily, after a challenging surgery, the veterinarian was able to successfully amputate the remainder of Rudy's front leg. This meant that he would have to live the rest of his life with a disability. Still, everyone was just happy he was alive. It was then that the veterinary staff realized Rudy still needed a place to call home. There was no way they could release him back into the wild given his age, lack of parental care, and physical condition. Moments later, one of the veterinary technicians who'd assisted during Rudy's operation stepped up to the plate. An animal lover herself, she decided she would be the one to offer the poor deer a loving forever home. Even though it was a tough transition for little Rudy, who was still very young, the veterinary technician did her best to provide him with the care he would need to thrive at her home. He'd had such a rough start, and she wanted to make his life better from that point forward. With the technician's persistence and Rudy's eagerness to thrive in his new environment, slowly things started to fall into place. If there was one thing anyone knew for sure, it was that Rudy had a lot of fight in him. That, and that he was super cute. Slowly, Rudy began to learn how to function with just 3 limbs. Not only was he walking around his owner's backyard, but he was eating meals regularly too. And luckily for him, he fit in nicely with all her other animals. The woman's dogs seemed to take especially well to Rudy, and they would all lounge in the sun and in the backyard together. It definitely looked like it was a great decision for him to move in with this family. The veterinary technician believed it was because of Rudy's gentle and kind nature that he fit in so well with her other pets. Since she'd rescued dozens of other animals over the years, she knew just how difficult it could be for a new one to fit in. After she adopted the little deer, the woman started an Instagram page for Rudy to document just how well he was getting along in his new forever home. She even took in another deer who was about the same age for him to play with. Rudy was such a pleasure to be around that his adoptive mom started to bring him to local nursing homes so he could spend time with, and bring some happiness to, the people who live there. Just look at the little sweetie after he hopped next to one of the residents. Since launching Rudy's Instagram page, thousands of followers have flocked to his account to allow his photos to brighten their days. Here, he was seen adorably mingling with one of the other foster animals living with his adoptive mom. Rudy was also not afraid to let his silly sideshow either. Just look at this awesome Halloween costume. Sure, he might have been dressed as a terrifying hammerhead shark, but it was only for fun. It was clear that he was really just a sweetheart. He was also not one to shy away from public displays of affection. In fact, he seemed more than happy to pose for a picture with his mom, even if she was planting a big kiss on his nose. Come on, Mom. Don't embarrass me. Rudy almost acted like a child in a way. He enjoyed making silly faces with his dog friends while posing for pictures. It's almost like he was saying, "Hey, I have an idea. You go ahead and smile for the camera, but I'm going to put on my goofy wink face." He even enjoyed getting into the spirit come Christmas time. He might have been a little camera shy in this photograph, but you can bet he was happy to dress up in his best Santa Claus hat whenever the occasion arose. Rudy certainly was a unique rescue animal, but he didn't let any of his hardships get him down in the least bit. His will to survive and live a full and happy life were just a testament to how strong and brave he truly was. Just look at the smile he put on everyone's faces.